this is Laurie Easterlin with Keller Williams Realty. And my daughter, who's in her 30s, was home recently and said, I have absolutely no idea how to buy a house. Who is supposed to teach us this? Well, likely me. And I'm a realtor, but I was an educator for 28 years. So I thought, I bet she's not the only person who has absolutely no idea how to buy a house. So I thought I would take the time today and just kind of go over what it takes to get a house. So the first thing that you need to work on is credit score. So you should have some credit cards and you should have a good history of using them and paying them off. So if your credit score is not where it needs to be, it would be wise to get a local mortgage lender to start working with you. They can often advise what things to pay down first to make that credit score go up. There are sort of secrets of the trade that they're very privy to. They can send you to credit repair school so that you can be taught the fine points of that, but a local mortgage lender is just your best friend in this period, and a year or even more out is not too early to start with them so that they can get you ready to make a purchase. Your credit score totally affects your mortgage rate. So what you pay per month is going to be highly affected by your credit score. So you want it to be as high as it can be when you go to pay a house. Other things, while you're in this preparation period, don't open a bunch of new credit cards. Don't go buy a new car, don't go buy new furniture. You're essentially preparing to do one of the biggest things in your life. So you really want to be sure that your finances are showing that. The other thing, they will ask for your W-2s to get your mortgage rate, and they will look at your bank account. So you need to be sure that your bank history is pretty good. You're not bouncing checks, you're paying things on time, and you look pretty good on paper. It's very, very important. The next thing is types of loans. In essence, there is a conventional loan, an FHA loan, which is very popular. I'm going to go over that in a minute because it requires only 3.5% down. A VA loan, if you've been in the service, that's very helpful. Those rates fluctuate depending on your time in the service, and your loan officer can help you with that. And there are also USDA loans. They are 100% financed. They are often in rural areas. There are some in the Augusta area close to Appling. They're not easy to find in our neck of the woods, but on occasion we do get USDA 100% financed homes in our market. There are also special loans. I know if you are a teacher and you teach in some low income areas, often you can get very special loans if you're going to buy in the area in which you teach. Often doctors and medical students can also get some special loans, and you would just need to talk to your lender. Not a bad idea to shop around. Certain lenders offer certain things, but again, I would say do it locally. We have a lot of trouble with our online lenders not closing on time. And also, if your lender is local, it's very easy for me to see them in person and say, hey, we're trying to close in 2 weeks and I'm seeing that we're a little behind. Can you just sit with me and tell me what's going on? That's very important. So next up, we're just going to look at a typical FHA loan, and that's the one with 3.5% down. It's very popular with first-time home buyers in particular. And I'm going to write down here the site that I'm using to look at all of this. So we're going to assume we are starting with a $200,000 home. I've chosen that because in our area, that's kind of a logical start point. If you have less, you can cut it in half or in a quarter. If you have more in your mind, then you can raise it accordingly. But $200,000 is an easy number to work with. So at a $200,000 price point, if you're going to do an FHA, you would need to put 3.5% down, and that would be $7,000. So I plugged in an interest rate of 3.1. I just picked it out of the sky, which is kind of what's happening these days. Your mortgage lender will tell you what it is at the time you lock down. So we have that. We're needing our 7,000 to get our down payment. Closing costs are generally 3% of your house's value. So if you are buying a $200,000 house, then 3% of that would be $6,000. So that means to close on an FHA with nothing special going on, you would need about $13,000 in cash to buy a $200,000 home. I'm going to talk about ways to get that together a little bit later. Things that you should know. Your mortgage will be at that price about $1,178 per month. Now, some of my clients have said, but Zillow says it's only $900. Well, Zillow assumes in the first page that you have put 20% down. There is a little click you can do on the right side to change that. And when you take it back down to what most people do, a 3.5 over 30 years, you will see that this corrects itself there too. Things in your monthly mortgage payment are not just your mortgage either. In an FHA, because you've paid less than 20% down, you have to have mortgage insurance that's rolled into the monthly, as well as your property taxes rolled into the monthly, and your monthly homeowner's insurance. So there's more than just your mortgage payment if you have taken an FHA, and almost all the time, unless you have paid that 20% down. So at this point, a lot of people say, I'll never get a house. I'll just never do it. Well, last week I closed with 2 clients in their 20s. They got a beautiful house, and no, my daughter said, were they doctors? No. Did their family give them the money? Mm-mm. So what did they do? Well, they worked really hard. They lived on their Monday through Friday pay, and they worked weekends and saved that for their down payment. So there is a way to do it, and it is hard. And, I've talked to my children. I think what we pay in weddings is crazy. I would much rather give my children something toward a down payment and let them have a much less expensive wedding. The other thing is, for the wedding, how about your parents, instead of paying for it, if they're going to, give you the down payment and you have it in your brand new empty house before you furnish it. You've got a wedding venue right there. The other thing is, really think about this. If you want a house, do you have to have a new car first? Do you have to have new furniture? My feeling is that getting a house is a big deal. It's a tax write-off. You are paying yourself. Every month you pay more toward owning it outright. It is a bargaining chip because you can borrow against it once you get equity in it. You can sell it, improve it, make money on it, and move up. It's a big deal. So do you really need that Starbucks coffee, or could you make it at home? Those little things really add up. We were very fortunate, my husband and I, and we are big time savers. So we ate a lot of ramen, but we pulled off the things we wanted to pull off, and we just kept doing it. It is the little things that eat away at things like saving for a down payment. So I just wanted you all to know it's kind of what happens. You've got to get yourself positioned to buy a house. It's very important if you can do it. If your families can help you, there are rules to that. So please find a local mortgage lender who can help you through when a family is allowed to give you a gift toward a mortgage. That's very important. There are rules. There are rules about co-signing. Yes, your parents can co-sign, but their financial ability to carry that loan is also evaluated. So it's doable. It's doable if you have a willing family to help. It's doable on your own if you will kind of really try everything you can to make it work. But in my book, home ownership is a big deal. I encourage my kids as soon as they can to work toward that rather than the rent they're now paying all over the world. So I'd love to be a realtor. I love to set you up, but mostly I just want people to know what is it going to take? How much money do I need? And how do I even go about getting a house? I hope this was helpful. I'm Laurie Easterlin with Keller Williams. I'd love to help you get your home. Thanks.